Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Abu Dhabi Festival Masters Tournament, and today we have round 7. So slowly, the 2 hour tournament is approaching to the end. And of course, the players now they still have energy for the 3 final rounds. So today the round is very important, especially tomorrow we have a day off, so they can rest, they can recharge your batteries, but also they can play a blitz tournament here in Abu Dhabi. So we have a sole leader, we have grandmaster from China, Zheng Shongzheng. He plays with white pieces against Arkady Nagic from Bulgaria. Also we have on board number 2, Lazovic plays with grandmaster Bharat, and Bartosz Sochko plays on board 3 with Aditya Mittal. So basically here on these 3 boards we'll have the decisive games of the round. Also on board 4 we have Sugiro plays with Grandmaster Xu Haowin. So all the Grandmasters are playing in the leaders group, and let's start to go through the moves. So on board 1 we have Shongzheng plays with white pieces against Naidic Arkady. Okay, Rui Lopez Berlin variation. So Naidic decided to play a safe line, and of course the reputation of the Berlin variation is always like a solid, black can hold, and who knows, if white plays super aggressive, black can take over. So Rook E1, no one game this time, knight d6 and a4. Well, quite a rare move. I mean, more, let's say, common here is knight takes e5, bishop to e7, and now retreating the bishop to f1. And black can take on e5, which is the main move here. Rook takes e5, castles. And by the way, yesterday we had in our studio Grandmaster Bartosz Sochko. He showed his game, his win in the same line, in the same variation. So you can follow the yesterday's round with very good explanations and comments of Grandmaster Bartosz Sochko. Instead, white played the move a4, keeping the bishop on the b5 square. So bishop to e7. Of course, black doesn't want to capture the bishop. Then black loses too many tempes. Knight to c3, a6 now, asking what do you do with the bishop? Bishop to f1. So white decided to keep the bishop, and e4. Yeah, that's very important. So black wants to give this pawn back, because let's say in the case of castles, white can just capture pawn here, or even play the move knight d5 or d4. Many aggressive approaches. So black decided to play again safe with e4. White is forcing to take the pawn. Knight takes e4, rook takes e4, d5. An important move, rook to e1 and castles. Well, to me this position looks equal. I mean, white is probably slightly better thanks to extra tempo, but I don't believe there is anything special here. So d4, bishop f5, very good move just to prevent the move bishop to d3, developing the last piece, c3, and rook to e8. Well, it's equal. I don't really see anything that white can try to play this position. So bishop to f4, queen to d7, connecting the rooks. Black is preparing to play maybe bishop d6 next move. Well, maybe a slight problem is the knight on c6, yeah? So it's a little bit misplaced, I mean, in front of the pawn, and c7 might be a weakness, or the pawn on b7. But I don't believe this is, white can really put some real problems here. So I'm expecting here it will be a quiet game. It will be a quiet game. Of course, white will try to get some play here at least, but black's position is very solid. Okay, let's go to board number 2. We have Grandmaster Bharat plays with Lazovic Denis. Actually, this is very interesting position. Well, d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, castles. I mean, from the Nimzo it transposes to Catalan, d5, a3. So here this year it was a very important game played. It was, I think, the game of Irigaisi with world champion. Well, it was with, I think it was the game with Gukesh, yeah? So taking on d4, a4, yeah, same line happened. Bishop to a3, queen to a5, yeah, exactly. Queen to e2 and rook to d8. Well, we can go through the game. We can go through the game. It was rook to d8, if I'm not mistaken. Bishop c5, knight a6, bishop e7, rook takes pawn on d4. Bishop takes f6. This is pawn f6, knight f3, rook to d8, and knight d2. If I'm not mistaken, this was the move. And white won a very nice game. Well, it's probably one of the most beautiful game of the year. Really, I recommend this game, the win of Erigaisi against Gukesh. So the current position we have after queen c2, and we have very big chances that the players will repeat the game. Okay, interesting. Of course, all are professionals. I mean, grandmasters, my grandmasters colleagues, they follow the most important games of the year, and of course they are improving. They are analyzing, and of course probably they even found the novelties there, interesting ideas. Let's move to board number 3. Board number 3, and here we have Bartosz Sochko plays with white pieces against Aditya Mittal, grandmaster from India. Let's see it from the beginning. e4, c5, knight f3, e6, g3. Okay, that's the line to avoid the main Sicilian positions. Well, honestly, the move is good and interesting. I played myself several games in this variation, and I can recommend it, by the way. If you don't want to spend hours and hours of learning theory, you can play this quiet line, just developing the bishop on g2 and then playing for c3, d4 idea, build it up and center. Okay, it's playable. I like it. Okay, Bartosz, yeah, Aditya played the move d5, e takes d5, and d4. So we have a French type of position where with the move on g3, with the pawn on g3. C takes d4, knight takes d4. Well, c takes d4 is, I would say, unusual. Yeah, I can make a demo. Let's say, I remember one of the variation here is knight to c6, bishop to g2, bishop to g4, and here white can ignore the knight takes d4 move, so by castle. And if knight takes knight, there is a move queen e1 check. If I'm not mistaken, this is very important move of the variation. So queen goes out of the pin with tempo. Now if blacks retreats the bishop on e6 after knight takes d4, pawn d4, soon probably white will recapture the pawn on d4 by knight d2, knight b3, taking the pawn, and it's a comfortable play against an isolated pawn. And if after queen e1, if black plays knight e6, keeping the pawn up, then white plays knight to e5, attacking the bishop, bishop h5 or knight f6, which leads to approximately the same, and c4, very important resource. And now white is hitting the center with all the forces of the bishop on g2, then knight to c3 next move, and simply the center is just falling apart. I mean, especially the pawn on b7 hangs. So this is the idea. Instead, black just took on d4, knight takes d4, knight c6, bishop to g2, and bishop to c5. Attacking, challenging directly the knight on d4, the blockading knight, c3. So white is ready for the exchange on d4, knight f6, and queen e2 check. Well, a provocative move, yeah? So now if black plays any piece on e7, let's say knight on e7, then after castle, bishop e7 castles, then you don't have pressure on d4 anymore, and white can just simply complete his development, and bishop e3, knight d2, knight b3. And instead black played queen e7, queen takes. So on move 10 we have an endgame, king takes e7, and here white is thinking. Okay, so Yeah, white can play this in game because it's not a draw. So don't think that if the queens are off, the position is, there is no life in chess. Yeah, of course, white can play, white can take on c6 and then make castle. White can play retreat the knight on b3, winning a tempo. Let's say after bishop b6, just make castle. Black probably will bring the rook to d8, and white can make this small, or maybe rook e1 first. Yeah, no need for tricks. Or bishop to g5 here, or bishop to e3. White trades the bishops, then bringing the knight to a3, c2, d4 if white manages. This is another idea with the move knight to b3, or white can just leave the knight on d4 and play bishop to e3. So threatening knight takes c6, there is no time for rook d8 or rook e8. Knight takes d knight, bishop takes d4, bishop takes d4, pawn takes d4, and despite of, let's say, massive changes of pieces, I believe that still white is slightly better here, thanks to a better bishop. Yeah, so bishop on g2, let's say bishop e6, knight c3. White pieces are attacking the pawn, knight on c3 and bishop g3 and g2, and blacks are defending. So white still keeps slight edge. I mean, okay, normally black should hold this position this endgame, but still white is slightly better. Okay, this is the current position, and now is Sochko to decide to take on c6 and make castle, or to play knight b3, winning this tempo, or bishop e3 to play the slightly better endgame. We have on board 4. On board 4 we have the game Sugirov Ksuhao win, and we have a very sharp position. Yeah, very sharp position of Sicilian e4 c5, knight f3 e6, d4 c takes, knight takes a6, bishop to d3, knight f6 castles, queen to c7, and queen e2. Aggressive approach, e6 and c4. Actually, this is the Maroczy type of the position. White develops the knight on c3, followed by f3 or f4. So here probably, yeah, with f4, yeah, with f4, more aggressive approach. g6 and f5, yeah, directly. White is trying to put the pressure directly on pawn e6. Bishop to g7. Well, this is already interesting. So black is sacrificing the pawn on e6, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's try to figure it out. What is the what is his calculation? So white takes on e6, and surprisingly, you can see from the time, yeah, black didn't spend even a single minute on this pawn sacrifice. So of course he's still on his home preparation. So, and Sugirov already thought for 25 minutes. So let's try to figure it out. What is the idea? Taking on e6. Obviously black cannot take on e6 because after knight e6 the position is simply bad. I mean, pawn down, there is a fork, king is in the center. I mean, just resigning. Another move here is the knight can jump to c5 or e5. Well, I'm trying to guess what was black's idea. Let's say knight c5, pawn takes on f7, queen takes f7, and white can just play knight c3. It's just a pawn up for white, and honestly I don't see much compensation. I don't see at all. So bishop to g7, pawn takes e6, maybe knight e5, pawn takes f7, and knight takes f7. Still, honestly, I don't believe in this compensation. Okay, the only thing that is maybe knight c3 is not that good because of queen c5, bishop e3, knight g4. Yeah, this might be the problem. But instead, white can play a prophylactic move like king h1, going out of all the pins, all the, let's say, castles, and knight c3, and white is a clear pawn up. White has some control over the square e5, c5, g4, but I don't believe this is enough compensation. Yeah, Okay, very interesting, and but in the same time, surprising decision of Chinese grandmaster. I didn't see this idea. Well, very interesting. So of course, Sanan is thinking, taking his time, because it's I would say this is probably the key moment of the game. So only move 10, and probably this is the most important moment of the game. White is thinking, of course, about taking the pawn. Let's go to board number 5. We have the game between Hubukshanov with white pieces, plays with Grebnev Alexei, and we have a Sicilian Najdorf variation. A6, bishop to e2, e5, knight b3, bishop to e7. Okay. Bishop to e3, bishop e6, knight d5, early knight d5. And white is hoping for the queen side advance of the pawns, queen d2, bishop g6, and a4. a4, then a5, then c4 and c5. This is white's plan. Meanwhile, black will try to push on the king side with f5. So this is the current position, a5, a4. Black can first complete his development, but not by knight d7, a5, and here black can play f5. And here white is to decide, to stop the advance with f3 or with f4. So if you play f3, then black can try to bring the knight to f6, maybe h6, bishop g5 could be another idea. But from the other hand, if you play after f5, f4, black gets the square, and this is also the diagonal, bishop to f6, if takes, knight comes to e5. Well, it's interesting. It is always, by the way, a debating situation where how to meet the move f5, by f3 or by f4. This is the, let's say, the strategical question, not only for this opening, but also for King's Indian. Sometimes we decide to meet with f3 or with f4. Okay, very interesting position, strategical battle. And let's see what our United Arab Emirates players are doing. So we have Rodal Serkal. She plays with white pieces against FIDE Master Advait from India, and it was advanced Karo Khan. By the way, we have many advanced Karo Khan in this game, in this tournament, so the variation is popular nowadays. And not only, it was always popular, e5, even in Tal's time, from his match against Botvinnik. So, but here Tal played the variation with h4, if I'm not mistaken, Here Tal played h4. Still, by the way, h4 is a quite popular move nowadays. But instead white played knight f3 and bishop e2, so-called short variation. Knight d7, castles, knight e7, and c3. White is building up the pawn chain from b2 to e5, and white is preparing then to bring the knight into play by knight d2, by knight d3, knight b3. Okay, more popular is the move knight to d2 and to go knight b3 directly. One day, I mean, who knows? Maybe white can play c3, maybe white can play c4 at once to advance. This is always let's say not easy to understand which move do we really need to play, c4 or c3. Okay, Roda decided to play c3 directly, h6, saving the bishop, because if you play a move like c5, you always should be ready to meet the move knight h4. So h6, a4, advancing the pawn, taking some space on the queen side. It's a typical idea for this line. a5 and knight a3. There are two ways of improving the knight. One is knight d2, knight b3, stopping the move c5, and the other is the move knight a3, followed by knight c2, and sometimes knight goes to e3, sometimes knight goes to e1, followed by bishop to d3. And the advantage of the knight on a3 is that the knight indirectly stops the move c5. Because after c5, white jumps knight b5, and this knight on b5 is really tremendous. I mean, it's just strong knight. Nobody can touch it. So the knight wants to jump to d6. By the way, checkmate in one. Of course, black can play knight c6 and defends against it. In the game, black played bishop h7 and bishop to d3. Yeah, quite often white plays this move, changing the bishops, because it allows white to get some space on the king side. Maybe the queen can come to g3, h3, and attacking the king. Okay, more common actually, white plays first knight c2, knight e1, and then bishop to d3, trying to take the on d3 with the knight. Or let's say, okay, the variation with knight c8, yeah, might be an illustration. Bishop e7, bishop to d3, bishop takes d3, knight takes d3, let's say castles, and knight f4, yeah? And white manages to change the strong bishop to bring the knight closer to the king, and white's attack is quite unpleasant. So the knight can jump to h5, white can try to bring the queen by playing knight d2, queen g4. Also, white can start pushing the pawns, h, g, f, I mean, everything. Okay, very nice. So, but Rode decided to change the bishops directly. Okay, it's also interesting because after bishop d3, queen d3, still no c5, because the knight can jump directly to b5. Probably this is the idea. So white stays on a3 and stop the pawn c. Yeah. So the knight is just a prophylactic piece on a3. Okay, bishop d3. This is the current position. This is the current position, and black is still thinking. Let's go to the game of Abdurrahman Al-Taher. He plays with white pieces against Tamir, a young player, 16 years old, if I'm not mistaken, from Egypt. And we have once again Carlsbad, yeah, quite often. I mean, not a rare guest here in Abu Dhabi. Takes knight d7. Yeah, don't blunder the piece here. Everybody knows probably, yeah, this trick. Knight takes d5, knight d5, bishop takes d8, bishop b4, and white loses at the end the piece. So e3, c6, bishop to d3, knight e7, knight f3. I have the most classical position of Carlsbad. I mean, it's really hard to say something new here. h6, yeah, this is the modern approach. More often black plays here, or let's say played before, like the move knight f8 with the idea to jump knight e4 or knight h5. h6, bishop h4, knight e4, bishop takes knight. Okay, there are two moves here, yeah, bishop takes e7, queen e7, and b4. Black actually can capture on b4, but after knight e4, d4, bishop e4, white changed the side pawn, the b pawn, for the central. So it's probably, I mean, clearly in white's favor. But white took bishop takes e4, bishop h4, bishop h7 check, knight take h4, queen h4, and bishop to d3. Well, probably white plays here bishop d3 directly. This is like more popular move. One of the game that comes to my mind is the game of Leko versus Kramnik in one of the game played during Corona times. I don't know, 2020 or 2021. I don't remember exactly. Okay, so very good. Knight h4, queen h4, bishop d3, knight f6, and b4. Yeah. Well, white decided to go for the classical minority attack, but black's position, I mean, black's pieces are very close to the king. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised by this decision of white. Bishop f5, yeah, trading the bishops. Bishop g5, bishop d7, knight d7, and b5. It looks like both players are blitzing out their moves. I mean, they're playing so fast. Rook a to c8, bc6, and rook c6, yeah. This is the point. So Abdurrahman is thinking now, and black didn't spend even 1 single minute. Look at the black's time, still 1.5 hours against only and white already spent for half an hour. Okay, rook c6. Black is taking the strategical risk. Now d5 pawn is isolated, but in the same time black is trying to play for the attack, like bringing the rook to g6, maybe knight f6, knight e4, maybe the other rook comes to e6, maybe black can push the pawn h, or black can play simply on the c file by playing knight to b6, rook to c8, doubling, then the knight got an excellent outpost on c4. Well, interesting decision of black, and now Abdurrahman Al-Tahir is taking his time. He played the move queen b3. Well, the most logical move in the position. It's a double attack. Pawn d5 hangs and pawn b7. Of course, black can protect the pawn by just playing simply knight b6. And everything is under control. The pawn on d5 is protected. Black controls the c file. White has better structure, but it's not clear. Yeah, probably white can change a pair of rook, let's say rook c1, rook c8, and knight e2. This is my recommendation. Takes and taking maybe with the knight, followed by knight d3, knight f4, or even knight c5. Still, I believe the position should be equalish. I mean, equal. I don't believe that white can play for advantage, but anyway, it's a quite game, positional game, and here we'll see a long positional fight. Yeah, we have one more player from United Arab Emirates, the current champion of UAE, Ammar Al-Sadrani. He plays on board 72 with black pieces against FIDE master Jinan Jamon, and let's see it from the beginning. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight d4, knight f6, bishop to d7. Quite a rare line, yeah. So bishop to d7. Well, of course, a6, g6, e6. I mean, knight c6. There are more common continuations. Bishop to d7. It could be a transposition to, let's say, Rouser, or a little bit of different Najdorf. Yeah, let's see. Bishop g5 and e6. Yeah, queen d2 and a6 now. Well, as I know, black's idea is of choosing this move is to play here the move a6, h6 with a small trick. Yeah, it's a tricky move. If black retreats, white retreats the bishop to f4. Now, boom, knight takes e4. Knight takes e4, and black is winning a pawn. Bishop takes d8, the queen, and knight takes d2. And black is simply pawn up. So be careful. Be careful when you play this opening. And also you cannot retreat the bishop to f4 because it's the same fork. I mean, it's a fork. And in case that you play knight to e3, black plays knight to g4 and the bishop is trapped. So black take the bishop. Well, I don't know exactly what's going on here. Let's say bishop f6, queen f6, and knight b5. Maybe this is still theoretical line. Maybe this is good for white. Yeah, if you can check this line, or if you know the line, so please message me. It will be very interesting to know your opinion. So queen d2, black played first the move a6, and now castles long, and b5. Yeah, still I think that h6 is the move here. With the same idea, let's check one more time. Bishop h4, and now, boom, we have the same knight takes e4 tactic. Yeah, so if white takes bishop d8, knight d2, is just a pawn up. If knight e4, queen h4, the same, pawn up for black. If white retreats the bishop on f4, then e5, and if white retreats the bishop to e3, then knight g4, taking the bishop. And if white takes on f6, queen f6, bishop's pair. Of course, the game is not over. The position is probably about equal, but taking the black square's bishop in Sicilian, I mean, especially in this router, is quite important, I believe, quite an achievement. Okay, so instead black played the move b5, f3, h6, bishop to e3, and b4, yeah? Knight to e2 and e5. So now we have a transposition from bishop d7 to rouser. Now it's more like a Nimzo variation, yeah? So here white to decide where to jump with the knight, yeah? Let's see knight f5 first. Knight f5 and d5 now. Yeah, I believe this is the idea, d5. So white can't take the pawn because knight hangs, and yeah, black actually got a very interesting position. Now next move is d4 or d takes e4 even. Also black is just can play after d4 bishop of 2 g6. Yeah, let's say white plays a move like, I don't know actually which one, because how to defend the pawn on e4. The move knight e to g3, leave the knight on h4, 1 f5 without no move. So d4, bishop f2, g6, and white is forced to move the knight on h4, which is clearly in a poor position. So it's a very interesting idea. After e5, white can play, of course, knight to b3, but a5 now. White knights are very far from the square d5, and black is just pushing. So now a4 is the threat of winning a piece, king b1, a4, knight c1, yeah? And black can complete his development by knight c6. Well, it's a very interesting idea, very interesting play of Amar Sedranian, this bishop d7 line, and after e5, white is thinking where to go with the knight, to b3 or to f5. So probably knight to b3 is more likely to be played. Interesting situation. We'll follow all 3 games of our players. Board number 72. Amar Sedrani plays with black pieces with FIDE master Jinan Jamon. Okay, let's go back to our leaders. Let's go back to board number 1. And we have the game of Zheng, Chongzheng plays with Arkady Naidich. And after bishop f4, yeah, we left here after bishop f4, queen to d7, a5. Yeah, white is taking space on the queen side. Now b7 pawn might be a weakness or might be a target after queen b3. Bishop to d6, bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, and knight d2. The knight simply, white is simply maneuvering the knight to b3 c5. Well, I like very much white's play. I like very much white's play. I mean, white is just concentrating everything on the queen side. I mean, the bishop is better. The bishop is targeting the pawn on a6. The knight on c5 attacks the pawn on b7. The queen can come to b3. And one day, maybe, who knows, maybe the rook can lift to a3, b3, or a4, b4 one day. Okay, very interesting play of Chinese player. Rook takes e1, queen takes e1, king f8, intending to play rook e8, knight to b3, knight jumps to c5, rook e8, and queen to g2. Okay, so probably black intends to put the bishop on c8. Let's say, I don't know, just let's play a move like h6 to prevent queen g5. Knight c5 and bishop to c8. Everything is protected on the queen side, and black can slowly improve his knight, yeah, because probably the knight on c6 is the problem. With knight d8, maybe knight e6 maneuver, maybe knight b8, knight d7 with the same idea. And meanwhile, white can start an attack on the queen side with b4, b5, advancing the pawn, trying to open the b file and then to attack on b7, or white can advance on the king side a little bit. Maybe fianchetto the bishop, change the side of the attack with g3, bishop g2, maybe one day knight d3, knight f4, attacking the d5 pawn. Well, not so many resources, not so many pieces left, but still I believe white is slightly better, and white can put some problems here, yeah? So this is the current position. Black is defending with bishop c8, white is attacking with knight c5, okay? Very interesting play of Chinese Grandmaster Zheng Chongzheng. He is slightly better, and black's positions are not solved yet. Let's go to board number 2, and we have a slight deviation from the original game of Erigaise against Gukesh. So a4, c5, queen a5, queen c2, and not move rook to not the move rook to d8. So one more time, I want to show you this beautiful line: knight a6, bishop e7, rook takes d4, bishop f6, pawn f6, knight f8. This was played in the game of this year, and knight to d2, and white got a nice compensation from the exchange and eventually won the game. But instead, black just retreated the rook to e8, rook on e8, bishop takes pawn, and e5. Yeah, completely different approach. Black wants to develop the bishop, I mean, from c8 to g4 maybe. Knight comes to c6, bishop is out now. Rook is on the right place on the e8. Okay, very interesting play of Lazovic, Denis, with black pieces. But actually, both players, they spent time. It's not like this was a clear home preparation and it was a very deep home analysis. No, it's both players, they spend almost 25 minutes each. 25 minutes white spent and 21 black. Okay, so bishop c5, e5, black is advancing in the center, and most probably white can just develop the knight on f3. Okay, it's not the only move, but knight f3, knight c6. Okay, also maybe d4, e4, but after e4, knight d2, black is targeting both pawns. So I believe that knight f3, maybe black just can complete his development with knight c6, castle short, and maybe bishop to g4. Yeah, all the pieces are out. Well, white is bishop's pair advantage, and I would say even maybe a better pawn structure, but black is well developed. All the pieces are out, all the pieces are working, and I believe the position is quite playable with contra chances. Okay, good. And another possibility after bishop takes e5, I think that white can take on e5. I'm not sure about, but let's try. Let's try it. So d takes e5. If queen takes bishop, then after taking pawn f6, so the structure is compromised. I believe here white is much better. And after d5, if black takes rook e5, then bishop to d4. Gaining a tempo, rook is probably forced to move to e6 to defend the knight, and maybe knight f3 or even knight h3. I like this position for white. I mean, knight h3, knight c6, and now white can just simply castles. Knight d4, cd4. White took the center, so pawn on c4 is under attack. Next move is knight f4, followed by move e4, and white is in a full control of the game. Okay, so d takes e5, and maybe black can actually ignore the pawn and play knight to g4. Now the bishop is under attack, the pawn e5 is also under attack, and if bishop d4, black can take the... this is actually good, because knight e5, and white cannot play knight f3. Okay, white can play, but after knight d3 check, king f1, knight c5, the king is uncastled. Okay, it's not over yet. There are jumpings like knight h5, knight g5. Wow, and if black is forced to play g6, then definitely something went wrong. Let's say g6, h4, The bishop on d4 is strong. Now white wants to attack with h5 or knight h7. Interesting play. A lot of possibilities here. A lot of possibilities after e5, and white is taking his time. And I believe white can try to play a count game with knight f3 or a very direct and aggressive approach with d takes e5. So tell me in chat, what do you prefer? A more positional approach, a more count game, or an aggressive one? And this will describe you as a chess player. Yeah, what kind of chess player you are, aggressive or more positional. And let's move to board number 3. Yeah, actually we have this game that I just mentioned. So Bartosz Sochko preferred to play a quiet game. Takes, bishop e6, knight c3, king comes to d2, king to d6. White is slightly better. I don't believe that it's easy to convert, or it's possible to convert, but still white can play this position a very long time, like knight c3, king d2, rook e1, rook e5. Maybe one day advance the pawns with a 4 g4, h3 g4, rook e5, and king d6. King protects the pawn, and after knight c3, black can just develop the bishop not to e6 but to d7, covering the b5 square. Well, I like black's play. So king d6, and white is thinking, of course, white can start with castle short, but I believe that knight c3 is just a normal move. I mean, check is not so important, because after rook e8, king d2, knight e4 here, well, actually this is possible. Takes, and maybe rook to c1, followed by king e3, and white gets some edge on the queen side. Okay, let's move forward to board number 4, and white did take the pawn. Very good. Very principled player, Sanan Sugirov. Yeah, he decided to take the pawn. Actually, this was the only way to try to play for advantage. He took on f7, knight f7, king h1, the same as I recommended. King h1, castle, the knight c3. So black is still on his home preparation. Look at the time difference, yeah? So white spent already more than 40 minutes, and black just spent some seconds. But, I mean, still, I mean, white is a pawn up, and black should, I mean, black has some compensation, but it's not easy to prove. Yeah, you have the full compensation here. I mean, knight c3 and bishop to g4. Yeah, developing the last piece with tempo. If queen e1, knight e5 jumps with tempo. If queen c2, maybe knight e5 attacking the c4 pawn, same idea. If knight f3, then there is a pin. Knight f5 again. Yeah, definitely there is compensation, but I'm not sure this is 100% enough. Okay, good play, good home preparation of Xu Haowin, and I'm actually glad that Sugirov took the risk to take the pawn and going for this crazy position. Okay, so all the games are fighting. No quick draws today, which is amazing, which is good for the tournament, for everybody, for the players, for the spectators, for the viewers, for all the chess community. And we have one more game on board number 6 between Stremiavicius Titas and Tsaruk Maxim. Yeah, yesterday after the incident that happened, that Jacobson Brandon just withdrew, just didn't show up for the game with Tsaruk. Honestly, I don't know what happened, but just if you know the story, so please share with me in the chat. And here we have a calm game from Queen's Indian defense. Let's go from the move 1. So knight f3, c4, b6, knight f3, knight f6, g3, bishop b7, bishop g6, castle, d4 castle, and knight c3. Yeah, no sharp move d5. Actually, d5. This is a very interesting idea of Grandmaster Paul Gaevsky. Back in from 70s, he played in the match against Korchnoi. So d5. Later on, Kasparov played it against Karpov. Same in the World Championship match. So you can see the chess history, how. But nowadays, white plays just a little bit calmly with knight c3, knight e4, queen c2, knight takes c3, queen c3. Well, as I know, this variation is considered to be considered to lead to a very calm position with no no tactical idea, and just white is trying to play for a center and for a better piece position. So a5. Well, as I know, black plays here c5 with bishop c6, attacking the center. a5. Okay, this is a little bit different approach. Black is just taking space on the queen side. Queen d3. White intends to play the move e4. f5, stopping. Knight to e1. Okay, changing the very important bishop. Knight takes g2. Bishop f6, bishop to d2. White wants the bishop to c3, preventing the advance. I mean, black one day maybe can advance with d6, e5. So exactly, the bishop comes to c3, queen e8, and this is the current position. Well, I believe that the position is slightly better for white, thanks to some space advantage. I mean, center. Plus, there are some weaknesses with f5, a5. I mean, imagine the position that white brings the rooks to the center. Rook to d1, rook to e1, and all the pieces are playing and well coordinated. So let's say rook to d1, black plays, well, let's say just a small demonstration. Yeah, let's say rook to d8, rook e1, queen f7, and e4. Yeah, white plays in the center, opening the file, and after e takes, queen takes e4. Definitely white is much better. White controls the center. White can play for d5 idea. The knight can jump to f4, h5. White can play even f4 pawn, knight e3, knight g4, knight e5. It's a comfortable advantage for white in this position. Okay, queen e8, and white is thinking. So e4, white should play for e4 idea. Maybe e4 immediately. Maybe first to prepare this move with rook e1 and e4, or rook d1, rook e1, maybe d5 one day, maybe knight f4. So it is a clear advantage for white here. And we have on board 7, yeah, we have the game Stribuk Artyom against Mahnev Denis. So it's an endgame, knight f3, c5, c4, g6. English opening, queen to b3, knight c6, bishop 6 taking, and yeah, we got an endgame where white got some, I mean, open file, open a file, open c5, but in the same time the structure is compromised on the king side, on the queen side. Well, I believe the position is about equal. Okay, so after 1.5 hours of play, we can make some conclusions of the beginning of the round. So what do you have? On board number 1, you have a fighting game. I like very much the approach of Grandmaster Zheng Shonsheng against Nadic. So this is the way how to play nowadays against the Berlin variation. You advance the pawn on a5, you bring your knight to c5, you create a weakness on b7, and slowly you try to outplay your opponent. So no quick draws, all fighting games. On board number 2, wow, we have a crazy position. And just I want to show the last move is bishop f5. Wow, that's a boom. Bishop f5 looks like a blunder, but not. In fact, after queen takes f5, queen takes c3 check, and there is a double attack. Wow. a beautiful move by Lazovic, and of course white is not forced to take. White can play queen to b2, and the game is on. White has bishop's pair, but black's development is compensating. So, on board number 3 we have the endgame, and white is pushing a little bit. So on board number 4, Sugirov is a pawn up, and we have a draw, a surprising draw in game of Roda Al Serkal. She made the draw against FIDE master Advait. It was such an interesting position with advanced Caro-Kann. After bishop to d3, black played the move knight g6 and knight e1 and bishop e7, and here opponents agreed to a draw. Okay, it was a quick draw. I believe that white can play this position, can continue, but they decided to make a draw, to go to one with a positive result to the free day. So tomorrow is a free day here in Abu Dhabi. We have a blitz tournament. So stay with us. We'll go for a short break, and don't miss the continuation of our show. We'll have a back Maria to our stream. So stay with us, and after a couple of minutes we'll be back online for continuation of our day, of our round 7 here in Masters Tournament of Abu Dhabi 2025 Festival. Welcome back to our live coverage of round 7 of Masters tournament in Abu Dhabi here. So we have back Maria. Hi Maria, how are you?
Good evening, Viorel. Good evening, viewers. Thank you. I'm fine. How are
Nice
you?
to see you because always difficult to be alone here in the studio.
Yes,
And
true. I know.
thank you for joining me.
Of course. I mean, every day.
Yeah, so
Today was
you
exception.
so you're just you came from the playing hall. What is the situation there?
Well, I
Do we
mean,
have
I
any like
saw the board 3 and 4 draw in the game of Grandmaster Bartosz Sochko against Grandmaster Aditya, and Sanan Sugirov drew his game against Hao and Xiu.
Yeah, which is surprising to me. Sanan was a pawn up after the opening, but probably with very good compensation for his opponent, so he decided not to take the risk
Yeah.
and draw on agreed on move 21. Okay. And we have one more draw. Just I said before the
Roda's
yeah,
game,
Roda made
yes.
the draw, and still we have a fighting game on board 1.
On board 1 and board 2, yes.
Yeah, on board 1 and board 2, yeah.
By the way, today we had a freestyle chess tournament, Chess 960, and did you have time to play in there?
Unfortunately not, because I was busy with my students preparing for their games. And who won the tournament? Did you play or did you
I
follow?
didn't, but I followed, and Iranian Grandmaster Movahed Sina won the tournament 7 out of 7 points.
Wow! So winning everything.
Winning
Okay,
everything,
okay.
yes.
Congratulations. The tournament of this random chess is part of the festival, one of the many events we have here.
It is.
And
we were discussing the table tennis tournament. I
alright,
think it is
which-
going to be later.
tonight, yeah.
Tonight, yes.
And this is like what is this individual or the team
No,
or
it
pair?
is
How it
individual.
does it?
I think it is
Okay.
going to be individual. I saw the cups.
Wow!
It was fun. If I have time, maybe I'll join.
I hope you will. I'll come there to watch you.
Well,
No,
maybe I
really.
needed more comfortable shoes, but I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, interesting. So we have a table tennis competition tonight. Everybody is invited to participate. So if you are in Abu Dhabi, if you are part of our tournament or festival, you are welcome to play in table tennis. And tomorrow we have a free day for the Masters tournament, but many other side events, many tournaments of
We have
Blitz.
Blitz tournaments tomorrow. 3 Blitz tournaments: Open Blitz, Ladies Blitz, and the Juniors Blitz under 16 years old. So, welcome.
Amazing. So tomorrow the day will be full of chess from the morning. By the way, we have a school tournament in the morning.
We have the
School tournament
yeah.
in the morning and a simultaneous with an invited grandmaster. So
Zaven
many chess-
Andrasyan, I think,
Oh,
will
yeah,
be giving
yeah.
the simultaneous, yes, and he
Good.
will also play in the Blitz tournament.
in the tournament and the Blitz tournament as well. Okay, very good. Good luck to everyone in the simultaneous and in the Blitz tournament.
Yes. So what do we have? What did I miss? Did I miss much?
Well,
I believe I missed much.
yeah, okay. On board 1, I like very much the setup. Okay, because look, nowadays it's really hard to play for advantage and Berlin variation.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And okay, I can show you from the beginning also to our viewers too. So and the setup showed by Zheng Shonzheng, it was very interesting. So a4,
A4, okay.
yeah, just to protect the bishop. But the most important is that this pawn he did advance it. I mean here, yeah. Okay, it looks like equal position, but there is an important
Nuance.
yeah, the pawn on b7 is fixed now, and white changed the right pieces, and the knight comes to c5.
Wow. And attacking the b7 pawn.
Yeah, exactly. So now look at the position. All white pieces are attacking the queen side, yeah? So imagine the bishop on f1, targeting the pawn, knight on c5, pawn on a5, rook on e1. Maybe white can play b4, b5, advance
Yes,
one day.
Yes.
So knight d8. Yeah, black is trying to improve the knight. b4 and g6. Rook to
Rook
e1.
to e1,
Well,
threatening queen h6.
wow. Okay. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I thought that white should keep the rooks because rook helps to attack the pawn on
Yeah,
b7.
I mean,
like
if you
rook
play
b1.
b5, also you're defending the a5 pawn, but
Yeah.
you wanted to fight for the e open file.
Okay, rook e1. So probably black can just take the queen, the rook queen takes, and play knight e6. Yeah. Play knight e6. Okay.
Yeah, now you remove the knight. Looks equal.
Looks equal. I agree, but maybe white can still put some small problems. I don't know. Maybe knight to d3. Okay, I can keep the knights. Look, knight d3. If you play knight f4, play knight e5. Yeah, but f6. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is really very hard. It is really very hard to make. Honestly, I don't like the move rook e1, but.
Yeah, I mean, if white wants to push on the queen side and the rook is already there,
yeah,
then white to exchange, yes, and this rook on e8 is not going anywhere for now. But let's see if, for example, b5 right away.
Right, this is what I was thinking, that white can
then
try.
c6, yes,
and
bishop d3.
Or bishop back, maybe
Yeah.
to have the d3 square for the knight.
Knight e6.
Knight e6 and maybe knight to d3, knight to b3, I don't know, to d3, let's say, just covering the square f4. And white can play like rook b1 or queen b2, queen b6, rook b1, g3, bishop h3 one day. I don't know. Still, you can
maneuver.
You can play against this b7 weakness. And instead, white just played rook t1 and yeah, this is the current situation. Yeah. Okay. But the most important, the most interesting game of the round is on board 2.
Okay,
look at
Barat against Lazovic.
Yes, look at the position. It is from the beginning. It was.
Okay,
it is.
Nemco-Indian, yeah.
Yeah, Nemco-Indian, but they transposed to Catalan, and this is the same position as
another Catalan.
As in the game of Erigaisi and Gukesh earlier this year, and in that game was the move rook d8. Bishop takes c5, knight a6, bishop e7, rook takes d4.
Okay.
Bishop takes f6, pawn takes f6, knight f3, rook d8, and knight d2. And white got a nice compensation for the exchange, and eventually Erigaisi managed to beat world champion.
Wow.
Yeah, but instead, here Lazovic, after long thinking, played the new move rook e8. Okay. Not rook d8 and rook e8.
So the difference is that you cannot capture the pawn on d4.
You cannot capture the pawn on d4, but black just gave the pawn back to open the e file against the king. It's a very interesting idea.
As long as the king is in the center, you try to open it. Yeah.
Exactly. Knight f3. Okay, when I was trying to play here more aggressive idea with taking on e5 with bishop d4 idea, but instead white played knight f3 and Lazovic played the move bishop f5. A move with
tempo. If the queen takes queen c3 and white is losing an exchange, maybe more than an exchange.
Maybe more than an exchange, exactly. So queen to b2 and knight to d7, another tempo. Bishop to b4, queen to c7, d takes e5. Knight e5, knight e5, rook e5, and this is the current position.
And
probably.
What happens if white castles?
Yeah,
then,
of course.
Yeah,
castle,
maybe rook e8.
Castle is the move, and rook e8. I think that white should keep the pawn on e2, rook e1.
Because if you play e3, maybe bishop d3 might become an annoying piece.
And here, maybe black can play bishop d3 anyway, I don't know.
Bishop d3, forcing e3, or I have bishop f3?
And bishop f3, yeah. And can I go aggressive? Or g5?
We can.
We can. Exactly. Not our pieces, not our game. We can
and if h3, h5, yes?
And if h3, of course, h5, yeah, continuing. Well, I was thinking to be more fancy with rook e3, but this is probably too much a little bit.
Yeah.
This is too much a little bit. Let's play, let's say, a little bit safer, or not that fancy, h5, followed by g4. I mean, all black's pieces are playing. Central. Okay, maybe
g4 is a threat.
Maybe it's not that
trying
simple.
Trying to capture the pawn on e2.
No, I think this h5, g5 was a little bit too much. Queen d2.
Okay, let's continue.
Defending the rook.
So
anyway,
d3 bishop is hanging.
Anyway, you continue, yeah? Okay, let's take
and take on f3.
And take on f3. And your intention is just to checkmate me.
If you allow me.
And yeah, and if d4, rook e2. Ah, no, queen g5. Okay,
Uh-huh.
but you can just okay. Let's take first.
If d4, maybe I can ignore it and play queen d7.
Wow.
Not my
Wow.
pieces.
Not your pieces.
And if you take on e5.
And if I take on e5.
Aha, but here I cannot ignore because queen h3, queen g5.
Queen g5, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Then queen h4.
Yeah. Okay, that was too ambitious.
Okay, rook e5, rook takes e5. But I think I have a double attack.
Queen f.
Ah, no, still not. You have rook rook f5.
Rook f5.
Yeah, and you get a nice square. Okay, let's say queen f4, rook f5, queen
h4.
h4. Yeah, good idea.
And queen e6 maybe.
And queen e6, preventing the rook.
Yeah, from entering to
e-file. Yeah, exactly. By the way,
rook h5.
Rook h5 and queen h3, another idea.
Rook h5, if queen f4, then rook h1 check first.
Oh, let's show this variation to our viewers.
We can start now.
Okay, queen f6.
Or queen f6, yeah.
It's the same, and check.
Check.
And check.
And checkmate.
And checkmate.
But okay, we pushed too much. Yes, g5, h5.
Yeah.
That was some sort of a cooperative chess, let's say, but...
Yes, so this was the very interesting play of like rook e8 was played. I know, rook e8, yeah, this is the position on the board, and white is thinking. White is thinking, okay, white can play directly bishop f3, but
g5 maybe.
But g5, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, g5. Anyway, g5. Oh, not g6, but g5.
And if rook d1, threatening bishop d6.
Threatening bishop d6, yeah. I wanted to ignore it, but probably I can't. I can't ignore it.
By the way, apparently we have a very interesting game on board number 11, where the game... Okay, something is wrong.
Yes.
Something is
This
wrong.
is the game Alexanderberg with Tin Jin Zhao. Let's go.
Okay, the game is...
This so-called fried liver attack.
Fried liver attack, yeah.
Knight a5, bishop b5, c6. Okay, bishop to d3, knight to g4. I know this move. Yeah, knight f3, because knight e4, f5 is coming. f5, h3, knight f2.
That sacrificed the piece. Okay.
No moves back, yeah? King takes and bishop c5 check first.
Okay.
Then on e4, taking back the piece. Queen to e2, castle. Not really taking back the piece.
Yes.
I was thinking that. So bishop c4 check, king h8, and knight e1. Wow. Queen h4, threatening knight c4.
It's like stated style chess.
Yes. D3 and knight takes c4, d takes c4, and f4.
Okay.
Checkmate?
I'm not sure.
Looks like checkmate. Looks like checkmate.
Like a checkmate, yeah.
I mean, the next move is f3. I don't see any defense against f3. Okay, f3 is not the end. It's not the end, but what do we play here? Knight to d2 was played. And white is intending to sacrifice on f3. Let's say f3. How do you defend Marie after f3?
Okay, if I capture, I have to take, yeah? I have pawn, then bishop h3.
Bishop h3.
Okay, rook h3 or knight g2.
For knight g2, then black just takes here.
And knight f3
and rook f3. Boom. Yeah.
And rook f8.
Is this over? I was thinking no.
I'll take and queen g4, yeah.
No, I was thinking to take. I mean, the queen is under attack, but
queen e7.
You have queen e7. Yeah, I don't. No squares for the king. Okay, so this is not good. But what else? Bishop h3, rook h3. Yeah, rook h3, queen g2, and how do you continue?
Okay, you have two pieces for rook, and
black can just retreat the queen to e6,
defending e4
defending e4 pawn, exactly. And the white pieces are still locked here. I mean, look at the queen side. Black just brings the rook to e8.
Mhm.
No, it's, I don't know, it's more than compensation. I would say the black is much better here. Okay, knight d2, and black is thinking, wow. You don't see often such kind of position, this kind of position in a grandmaster's practice. I mean,
True.
it looks like we are back in the 19th century. Games of Steinitz, Anderson, and Kizeritsky. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the game? Anderson, Kizeritsky, and Murphy. Okay, good. Very interesting game. This board 11. Board 11, Eisenberg with Tingjing Zhao, and black is thinking. Of course, f3 is probably the most direct move to attack the king.
By the way, what is happening on board number 9?
What is happening on board number 9? Let's go to board number 9. Grandmaster 1 plays with Anuj, an international master from Iran. So we have a, I would say, a quiet position. Bishop c4, e6, bishop d3. Okay, okay, that's funny line. Yeah, I know a little bit about this line. So white is, I mean, the Maroczy system is so good that you can even play with tempo down. Yeah, knight c3, b6, and knight f3. Okay, bishop f4 and d5. So black managed to play the d5, to break the center, and here white is thinking, okay, I believe it's quite logical. And look at the time. Yeah. So after 12 moves, both players they spent almost 1 hour each.
Yeah.
So okay, very interesting game. So what else?
But board 11 was very interesting, by the way.
Yeah, board 11, I believe.
Shall we check more?
Yeah, we are here. Here after d5. Okay, so the reaction is here with e5. Maybe first take with the c pawn takes an e5, knight e4, and knight
b5.
And knight b5 to taking the control over d4 square. Yeah, this is the most logical, let's say, continuation, and against this d5 move.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, do you think in the game Tin Yang Gao?
Yeah.
Board 11.
Let's go back to board 11.
Yeah. Do you think this knight f2 was a home preparation?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Wow. Black didn't play the move f3, bishop g4. Wow. We missed this idea. I missed this idea. I don't know.
Same. But
so basically,
this looks stronger. I think f3 was winning too. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was trying to make it work. Yeah, it's clearly that. But bishop g4 just wins a piece. Yeah. So white is forced to give the piece back by one of the knight on d3 on f3. Pawn takes, and probably white takes back with the knight. Okay, we don't count pawns.
No, we don't.
We don't count pawns. Can I play rook e8? Am I blundering?
I think you can do whatever you want.
No, not really. Look, Marie, this is I know.
Actually, you can. Bishop e2.
There is no queen e8 because queen f2
checkmate.
Intermediate checkmate.
Wow, beautiful. What an amazing game, actually. Like, this game is
and you
beautiful.
Cannot take. I mean, look, so many pins. Yeah, you can take with the knight on h4 because this you cannot take. With
I don't know if we have a prize for the beautiful game. Maybe maybe this one would be in an amazing fight for this.
Yeah, the Tingjing Zhao. Yeah, it's move 20, and well, looks like
game over.
Well, okay. Let me try to defend Maria. Queen to d2. Checkmate me, please.
Queen to d2.
Yeah.
Okay,
I understand it looks ugly, and I have no
checkmate?
moves and so on. Like, black is super winning.
What happens if bishop f3, pawn takes, and rook e3?
Aha. Strong, simple and strong.
I hope. Is there queen f2 maybe?
Queen f2 looks like. Okay, the simplest way is just queen h5.
And if you take on e3, f pawn captures it.
Exactly, and the rook comes into attack. No, I think no way to save this game.
No, no.
Really,
no,
I
no,
don't.
no.
I don't believe. I just don't believe.
This looks really, really bad.
I just don't believe that. Yeah, and Black did play Rook E8.
Rook 8 was played. Okay.
Rook E8 was played. No, okay, it's a game over. It's a game over.
is a
It's
game
an
over,
amazing
yeah.
game. It's an amazing game, but by Singaporean Grandmaster
What
King
a
Jen Zhao, the master
beautiful
of
sacrifice, knight
yeah.
f2, yeah.
Well, everything is beautiful in this game. And okay, let's see. Like if knight takes h4, bishop takes e2, king e1. Okay, this is game over.
f3 maybe simple.
F3.
Yeah.
Ah, white cannot take the back the
Yeah.
pawn because losing the piece.
Everything is winning. But
Wow.
Okay, you need to calculate, but
Amazing, amazing game. I mean, just fantastic. I mean, funny in the same time. Okay, so rook e8, and it's a game over. It's a game over. Wow.
yeah, again, I want to mention, I feel like I went 200 years back where chess used to look like this, yes?
Yeah. So let's show it from the beginning one more time. I mean,
Yes.
from the we have this.
Maybe from very beginning, yeah.
Oh yeah, we have
Yeah,
this
let's-
fried liver attack. White played the move bishop to d3, knight g4, knight f3 and f5. And here probably this h3 is.
H3 was a mistake, yeah, maybe castle simple. If
But e4,
e4
rook e1, yeah.
maybe.
Well, if you play such a line as fried liver attack, I mean, you have to know much more than
just capturing the pawn, yeah?
Exactly, yeah, because here, look, it's after bishop to d3, two more moves was played like this, that, and f5, and
Yeah, h3, and white didn't expect this beautiful sacrifice, knight f2, just giving the knight for a
Yeah.
pawn, but forcing the king not to castle anymore. And it's all about bringing the pieces into the game as fast as possible. Bishop c5 check, king f1, e4. Wants to take the piece back. White found a way to save it, ignored castle.
yeah, exactly.
Rook also enters into the game, bishop c4 check. No need to exchange anything, king h8. Knight is hanging, has to retreat, and suddenly queen h4.
And once again, with everything comes with tempo. Yeah? Now the bishop hangs. No time for white to bring the pieces into defense. d3, knight takes bishop, and f4.
And f4. And look at these pieces, rook on a1, knight on b1, and bishop on c1, and knight on e1, and rook on h1. I'm sorry, if white plays queen d1 now, then
Yeah,
maybe
exactly,
we'll go
yeah,
back
it's
to the
after
initial
queen.
position, yeah?
Yeah, and basically after knight d2, okay, f3 was probably good as well, but now bishop
Bishop
g4.
g4 is beautiful. And you cannot capture it. You're going to be checkmated in one move.
Yeah,
And the queen is hanging. It is trapped. The only way to save the queen is to give up the piece.
exactly. And takes, and black continues to play strong with rook e8. Now, I mean, yeah, rook e8, and here is white to play, but looks like the game is over.
Looks like
The
the
game is
game
over.
is over, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful game. And yeah, this is the tournament of, let's say, chess miniatures. Yeah, we had the game in round 5, yeah, when
Knight
Knight won a game
Yeah.
in 17 moves only. Now we have another game with 20 moves only, 21, and black is winning, black is crushing. And by the way, only black wins.
Only black wins, yeah. I mean,
Short games, yeah. Okay.
beautiful, absolutely
yeah.
lovely, yeah.
So let's go back to board number 1 and 2. Board 1 first. Yeah, and Zheng still playing for a win. I mean, he played the move queen e3. Actually, the move is good. I like this move. And a queen e7, and now I think white shouldn't take the queen. Because let's imagine the position that, okay, let's say a move like bishop to d3, just bringing the bishop
And
into
if
play.
black wants to exchange the queens,
Yeah, then white can play e4 or even c4, yeah? So to break the structure here in this, but no, actually black is so solid, yeah? Black is so solid with no weaknesses.
Still, yeah, the bishop on c8 simply defends everything.
Yeah. Okay, queen to e7,
and white is thinking, do you think we are going to have another draw on the first board?
Well, I hope that white will try here in this position. White will try more. I don't know how exactly?
But if you want to try more, then why to exchange the rooks? You know?
Exactly. Why to exchange the rooks? Yeah, you can keep the rooks. You can try to play against the b7 pawn. Okay, so board 2.
Board 2, let's see.
After rook a8, so white was afraid of g5 plan. So white didn't play the move bishop f3 because g5 maybe is coming here. But probably black can actually play the move like a safe move like bishop e4 or bishop g4, yeah.
Also possible, yeah.
Yeah, so don't forget, yeah, the general rule of chess. I mean, if your opponent has bishop's pair, change one. Especially the bishop on f3 is a very strong defensive piece. So instead, white is ready to sacrifice a pawn.
I mean, white is going to take 2 rooks for a queen. What is this position?
But bishop d3 then?
Bishop d3. Oh. Rook e7 maybe needs
Oh yeah,
to be
rook
played.
e7, I missed this move. Yeah, and then rook e7, yeah, and this is good for white. Yeah, of course. So then black probably is forced to play bishop e6 to close the file, but let's say after rook to d1 or rook e1.
Well, the bishops are too
or,
strong.
Or maybe a5.
a5 first. Black could have started with a5, by the way, instead of taking rook e2.
Let's try. So a5. That's a good.
Bishop e3, yes.
Only move.
And now we need to calculate. Is there a difference? Maybe knight. No. Okay, if simple. Knight d5 is not possible. Rook e8 checkmate.
But no checkmates here. Can black go for another pawn like queen to d7 and taking on a4? I understand it might. It looks maybe a little bit too dangerous. Let's say rook e7, but queen takes pawn.
Yeah.
Bishop c5.
Maybe rook b7 instead of bishop c5.
Rook b7, yeah, and move like h6.
Yeah, and now move the bishop.
And now move the bishop. Yeah, it's not that easy because the bishop comes to d4. Two bishops, rook is on the 7th rank. Another rook is coming.
Absolutely. I mean, well, a lot of tactics happening here, and so many choices for black. But a5 looks like a good move.
a5, bishop a3, and now probably
and now
just
you need to calculate. And if you try, and if you don't take, let's say bishop g4.
Bishop g4, yeah.
Are you going to play e3 or f3?
f3, I was thinking, and if you move the bishop away, I'll just play e4. And I believe that black just improved the structure. Yes. Why just improve the structure? Look at the pawn. Look at this chain, f3 and e4. The knight on f6 is restricted.
True, true. I mean, maybe black shall be more concrete in the position.
Yeah.
So, like a5, bishop a3, and rook e2.
And take the pawn, yeah?
Take the pawn and start evaluating this position. Unfortunately, bishop d3 doesn't work because rook e7. Is there a difference? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to grab another pawn with queen e7, queen d7, queen a4, but it's not that simple, this one. I don't know. Maybe bishop e6 to close the diagonal.
Possible, yeah.
But from the other hand, maybe instead of taking the pawn, black just can play here, let's say move to b6, because b7 pawn is hanging too. And what do you do like long term with the pawn? Rook d1, yeah? Threatening bishop d6.
Yeah. Rook d1.
I was trying to make bishop d3 working. Bishop d3, no, this is too much. Pawn d3, rook e1 check.
Bishop f1,
so the queen should be on d7. I wanted to play here queen h3, but it's a little bit illegal.
You can try to jump.
I can do
Maybe
this.
in the blitz.
Yeah. So okay, rook a2, and maybe black can, let's say. Oh, I know. I start with queen d7.
You want bishop d3.
And if you play the move like no, I don't want to. If you move the rook, but where do you move the rook? You don't move the rook.
But still, let's do it with a5, bishop a3, then queen d7.
And what is the difference? I didn't want to,
b7
to
starts
give the
hanging.
pawn, yeah.
True.
And now actually bishop h3 is my threat. I want to play simple chess. Bishop h3. Queen d7. Yeah, and now my next move is bishop h3. Or queen to c, no, queen to c8. Okay, I want just if to demonstrate the idea, maybe I'll
queen
play
c8 with queen
waiting
c8.
your move, rook d3, and now bishop d3.
Bishop d3, but e3
takes. Okay, then I managed to install my bishop to d3.
Well,
rook
now you
e1,
got what you wanted. The queen is coming to h3,
Yeah.
threatening to take the checkmate, basically.
Yeah, and if you play the move e3, look at the position, Maria. So e3, and now all your pieces are stuck. I mean, thanks to the, let's say, a knight to where? Maybe I don't play even a knight. Knight e4.
Knight e4.
Or maybe black just can push the pawn h.
Again, yes?
Yes, h5, h4, h3. I mean, classical plan.
True. I like black's position. I feel like there is something more for black.
Yeah,
here.
so
Yeah, seems like
did black play the move queen c8?
hard to say. Maybe he is listening to us.
He's listening to us. So it's queen c8 was just that I was trying to be tricky.
He played queen c8.
He did play queen, yeah. So just and happened rook d1. So he plays for my tricks.
Bishop d3. Maybe they are actually listening to us.
Yeah. Okay. So interesting
Good
idea.
Good guess.
Yes, thank you. And okay. Actually, after bishop d3.
By the way, apparently after rook a2, there was this interesting line. Instead of queen c8.
Okay.
Bishop g4.
f3.
e4.
Sorry.
e4 instead of f3.
Why not f3?
Because rook e2, and in the end.
And then the bishop is closed.
Bishop is closed.
Okay, makes sense.
So white plays e4, and there is sacrifice rook e4.
Rook e4.
Yes.
And if
I
bishop?
can see it from our chat. Yeah. And if bishop takes, knight takes.
And f3.
f3, queen b6. Yeah.
And king to g2.
King to g2. Oof.
Bishop
knight
f5.
g5.
Okay. This is hard.
This is very difficult.
This is very difficult. Yeah.
But thanks to the chat, I mean,
I don't believe
this was
this
their
is.
offer, yeah?
I don't believe this is realistic to find. I mean,
no. Queen c8 is a very human move, obviously, yeah. And rook d1, I mean.
Yeah, very interesting play of Denis Lazovic. He actually made a novelty, an improvement over Eric Gaissi Gukesh game, and now he's attacking. He's attacking queen c8, threatening bishop h3, and if rook d1, maybe bishop d3 works. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
Beautiful. I mean, he is pushing there.
Yes. Okay, let's go to board number 5. Let's see what do we have here. Okay, some development in this game. So I was trying to, queen to c7, yeah. I was trying to play just knight d7 f5 idea but black just took a pawn, yeah. Actually, white sacrificed a pawn. White could defend by c4 or by rook c1. Queen c2, rook c1. Once again, our favorite idea.
And the queen is trapped.
The queen is trapped, yeah, exactly.
Another game, another queen.
Yeah, every day. At least one queen. Knight d2 and bishop d8. Defending the square c7, rook c3, knight d7, and rook b3. Okay, white sacrificed the pawn, but knight f6 attacking the pawn on d5, bishop c4, bishop f5.
Black couldn't defend the pawn on b7.
Yeah. So after rook b8, there is rook a7. After rook, After rook b8, there is bishop a7, and white takes the pawn back.
And you also take the a6 pawn
And also
afterwards, yeah.
So bishop f5, rook to b7, and bishop to c8. Yeah, bringing back all the forces to defend the queen side. Rook b3, and this is the current situation. The material is equal, and probably white is, I mean, white will, let's say, move the rook away, like okay, rook c3, with, and then b4, and maybe b5, creating a passed pawn.
Yes, yes.
And
White is
meanwhile,
definitely trying to get the maximum because look at the black pieces, yeah. The rook on a8, the bishop on c8, the bishop on d8.
yeah, but from the other hand, white should be also careful because pawn on d5 is a weakness. Let's say if black manages to put the bishop on b7, then the pawn on d5 is under attack. Yeah, okay, interesting. So
yeah, very interesting.
On board number 6, well, black managed to improve a lot his position from the opening, which I was considering that white is much better. Maybe e4 was a little bit too early, because d5 takes, and now queen e4, and now black is active now. Black is very active. I mean, instead of e4, I was thinking that white can play just rook e1 first, preparing e4. I mean, because d5 you don't really want to play because, well, actually, maybe it's not such a bad move. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he was scared of d5 and he decided to go for e4 first.
Yeah, but then black is just in time to play e5, takes, and queen e4, and if white takes on e4, d takes e4. There is a weakness on e4, on d4. Okay, white can just bring the knight, yeah, or rook e1. But queen takes d3, rook d3, and rook e8, let's say.
Black's position is fine, yeah.
Yes, yeah, black can maneuver the knight to e7, knight f5, maybe knight b4, maybe c5. Yeah, black looks like. So, and here white played the move a4. a4, just improving the structure on the queen side. I'm not sure this is an improvement, actually.
Maybe this will start hanging somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes?
And also you give up the square, give the square d4. I mean b4. Black can play knight b4 and then c5, creating a passed pawn in the center. Okay, so a4 and rook e8.
And rook e8. Maybe black is the one that is pushing now.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. Yeah. It's black is much better. I mean, there is a weakness on d4. Knight, queen, bishop attacks the pawn, and yeah, it's clearly black is black is better. Black is trying to get the advantage.
Yes, black is better here.
And let's go to United Arab Emirates.
Abdul Rahman is playing with white pieces.
Abdul Rahman plays with white pieces, and we have another Carlsbad. A super classical Carlsbad. And here black played actually an interesting idea. After rook c8, bc6, he took with the rook on c6. And apparently this d5 is a weakness, but from the other hand, black took full control over the file. Rook c4, nice outpost, rook d1, queen b5, and knight f4. Okay, now it's clear that black is better here. Black is in full control of the file. I mean, there is a possibility of create a passed pawn on the queen side. Yeah, okay. Rook a1 back. Okay, yeah, white lost totally the control. Queen d2, h3, queen a5. Okay, defending the pawn a5, knight d3, and rook c3, queen d1, knight d7.
Black is
knight e5. Okay, at least white is changing the knights and trying to attack the pawn on d5. Queen c5, queen h5. By the way, white managed to improve his position.
Maybe white's position, yeah.
Yeah, so the pawn f7 hangs. Next move is rook to d1.
Yes, trying to attack d5
Yeah, exactly.
somehow.
And then maybe one day white can play queen f5 or queen g4 and push e6.
Push e6, yes.
And black's king start to be a little bit weak. So okay. So he managed to improve the situation on the board.
He did.
And what is Ammar Sedrani doing? I saw him on board
Let me-
72.
Okay.
It was a crazy Sicilian.
Oof.
It was a crazy Sicilian. Look, Maria, did you see this move before? Like we have the classical
Yeah.
move order and the move bishop to d7.
Why? Wants to play knight c6 and take by bishop?
Yeah, actually white, not really.
Or
Well,
stops bishop b5, I don't know.
Well, no. Actually, I mean, I knew that there is an idea. It's like to avoid the rouser with bishop g5. This is what I think that he wants to do. And if castle, there is a move h6, and basically you take the bishop. Because you cannot retreat the bishop. Because
Okay,
bishop h4,
knight e4.
knight e4. If bishop f4, e5. If bishop e3, knight g4. So you take on f6, queen f6,
Okay.
and you have bishop spare. But not. Yes, but no. He played the move b5.
Okay.
So basically this is the idea, yeah. F3 and b4. Sorry, first h6
Now
and
h6.
important, yeah.
Okay, but now bishop b3, knight g4 is not possible.
Exactly. And now b4, look at the continuation. And e5.
Okay.
And you cannot play knight f5 because move d5. And now once again, I play with the pawns. I thought a5 is the move. And a5, and then you just push maximum to a4, and then you just...
Maybe he wants to play knight c6 and then a5.
Okay,
but is there a difference?
So he played knight c6 first, yeah. So because white knights are far from the square d5, so black is playing very interesting. And bishop e6, and now we have kind of a Najdorf type of position, yeah. And d5. So when black is in time to play this, the typical d5, yeah, it takes, knight takes, knight e4, bishop e7, threatening knight e3, bishop g5.
Eventually he took the bishop?
Yes. 96 check, but from the other hand, white is very active. Wow. Now,
are we missing some tactics?
Knight e6, rook e6.
Knight e6 looks very interesting. Queen d6, knight g7, and I place my knight on
knight
f5 square.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, knight e6. Black is forced to take the rook. Check.
Too much activity for an exchange.
And knight f5. Okay, probably black can play queen f6, threatening queen g5.
Okay, and
h4 or king d1, I don't know.
Let's start with h4.
And maybe black is in time to change this beautiful knight.
And could I start with queen c5 check, maybe?
Yes. Instead of h4.
And then I will not even play h4. I will play bishop c4.
Bishop c4, bishop d3. Yeah. No, that's.
I might be threatening bishop f7, by the way. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, this is very beautiful compensation. Very. I mean, it's. White is just much better.
I believe I would have gone for this.
Yeah.
Especially in the blitz game.
Yeah, and instead white took with the rook on e6. Okay, something very similar. And queen to
queen e4 was to come to queen g6. And what happens after castle? Then knight
bishop
d6.
d3. Oh, sorry.
Or bishop d3
or
also,
knight e6 is just enough. It's a pawn up. Or bishop d3 if you want to play for the attack.
Long castle is also not possible.
Because the bishop comes from the other side of the one, and then knight e6 or knight e6 directly. And white is taking all the pawns and the rook. And the rook.
Queen c7. Why queen c7 there, though?
Yeah, this was the situation. Yeah, queen.
Okay, but if maybe he got scared, if short castle, then knight e6, pawn takes, and again queen e4, bishop d3, or bishop c4 even.
Yeah, exactly. So this queen e4 and bishop d3 is just. No, it's probably the position is not good. I mean, somewhere earlier, I think he.
Maybe a5. A5 he had to play.
Yeah,
A5
instead of
faster,
knight c6. Yeah, this is what I am thinking, that white was too slow. Black was too slow. Yeah, and after queen e4, nice move, just controlling everything. Queen is everywhere, yeah. You can't go castle short, you can't go castle long. Also, I mean, staying too long in the center is not a good idea.
No, definitely. It's a big compensation for white. Maybe even winning, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, not a good game for Marcedrone.
Maybe king e7, yeah, after queen e4.
And king e7, well, not an easy move. Knight e6 or bishop c4, bishop c4, knight d4. And if I start with queen g6, double attack, attacking e6 and g7,
yes.
What do we do here?
Okay, king e7 is a very difficult
Well,
way.
I see a possibility, but it looks so crazy, like knight d4, defending the opponent, and go
king d6. Oof.
They are saying king is good.
But the
Active
queens are
king
still
is good,
on the
and
board.
king c6.
Somehow, yes.
And maybe black manages to evacuate the king, and then okay, but this is really this is not easy at all.
Finding no. But other moves maybe are just losing, yeah. I mean, short castle is losing, long castle is losing, queen, knight e6 is on the way, and then queen g6, and then knight g7. I don't know, everything is.
And what about
bishop c4 is coming?
What about no panic rule?
Knight d4, a8 is hanging.
Yeah. Queen d6, I thought.
Okay, queen g6 check.
Yeah, but this is just checkmate.
Now yeah,
knight e6, king e7, check, and bishop c4.
Oops.
Taking everything. Queen.
Yeah.
King
we have crazy games.
Yeah.
Coming to the end of the tournament, and we get this crazy sacrifices happening on some of the boards. By the way, on board 11, Tin Yao already won his game.
Yeah, congratulations for this beautiful game.
Very
So after knight f3, rook e8, white took the knight, bishop e2, king, and f3. Maria, your move, Maria, and king d2 and f2. Thank you very much.
And white resigned here, yes?
Well, yeah, I believe it's exactly the right time to resign.
Yes. What a beautiful game. Congratulations to Tin and, well.
Yeah, no, this is really, I mean, we have another beautiful short game. So I believe after this move we will lose players playing fried liver. We might lose players, because imagine, I mean, you're just losing 20 moves with white.
Wow.
And
knight f2 was really fantastic.
Yeah, great. Okay, so we have the game of Lazovic, Bharat against Lazovic. This is rook d1 was played, and black is thinking maybe
bishop
d3 or not.
Calculating bishop d3 or simply bishop h3.
Or bishop h3, yeah, or maybe h6, h5, or h5 here, I don't know.
But bishop h3, what is the problem with bishop h3?
No problem, the move is good. Maybe bishop f3.
After bishop h3, yes?
Yes.
And bishop g4?
And bishop g4, yeah. Yeah, now I cannot escape from changing bishops. Yeah, it's a good move. It's a good move, of course. Bishop h3, you don't need to calculate too much with bishop d3. I mean, it just can be just very practical and play bishop h3, and black is clearly better. Okay.
Yeah.
So what else we can?
We have a result also on board number 12, by the way.
On board number 12.
Yes.
Black is simply pawn up.
But what I like this h5, rook h6. So
rook d8
and h5, and
this is the fastest development of the rook. h5, rook h6, knight d3, and
rook g6 is going to be played.
And knight comes to d4 and bishop e4. Black is up a pawn. Black is better. Rook comes to g3, rook to c8, rook to b6, a6.
Maybe instead of
It's just
rook g6, I could have just brought the rook earlier, like rook d3, yeah.
Rook to d3.
And if knight d4, now bishop e4.
What about checkmate in one? The strongest
You
threat in
want to
chess.
play a rook d knight d4,
Oh, well,
yes?
there is no
There's
checkmate.
no checkmate, but knight d4 is on the way.
Yeah,
Still rook c3.
I was dreaming.
Rook c3, yeah. And bishop a4.
And
Or
oh,
bishop e4. Aha!
this was my trick. This was my trick. This was my trick, and now
now
white is winning.
Yes, yes.
It was my trick. So,
Okay, can be.
Yeah. So after rook e1, okay, black can bring the rook. Black is simply can bring the rook. So rook to d3. Yeah, black is just a pawn up.
Rook d3 was played, huh?
Rook d3 is
was
yeah,
played,
black is pawn up, but okay, just some accuracy is important. Not to, knight to g4 was played, and now probably bishop e4. Aha, it's a little bit different move order. And rook e1. By the way,
rook c3, knight f5, yes.
How do you stop knight f5? Because rook f6, I still take on f5. Rook f5, rook e4.
Maybe simple king g8 is enough.
King g8, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Spoiling everything.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. And the rook comes to a6 next, d6,
Yes,
b6,
yes.
and the game is over. Pawn up, many weaknesses, and just the bishop on e4 is just dominating everything here. Yeah, okay, so...
We have another game, by the way, on board 8.
Board 8.
Yes.
This is the game
Mayank against Simon.
Let's go from the very beginning. From the very beginning, it was a French defense and one of the Rubinstein variation in French defense. Knight f3, h6, bishop takes, and bishop to d3. Okay. c5, c3, queen c7, castle. Apparently, very calm game. Rook b8, knight e5, b5, and here knight c6. Takes, rook e1. Black is changing pawns on the queen side, b3.
Yeah, I want to understand how the black pawn ended up on g5.
Okay, checkmate.
That's how.
Rook hangs. h4.
And then h5 and then g5
Provoking
happened,
g5
yes.
and c5.
C5.
Yeah. Passed pawn plus plus queen d3 threat is always on the board. Rook comes to d6, rook comes to e5. So imagine
Queen
the
d3
position.
is always an idea.
One rook on d6, the other rook on e5, then pawn on f4, queen on d3.
With this bishop on c8.
And yeah, it's total domination. Total domination of white species.
Yeah, yeah. Problems.
Yeah, not easy. Not easy. So probably here, somewhere around here, black was just ignoring the development, pushing too many pawns on the queen side, and
didn't work out so well. Yeah.
No. And what is going on board 10? We have the game of Inian against Narayanan, two well-known Indian grandmasters. And Nimzo, okay, this one is, no, this is not a Nimzo, this is a Ragozin variation with queen a4, b6, yeah, this is fashion. Still they are playing this variation. Okay, knight goes to g6, b5, a4, changing the bishop from a3. Yeah, this is the old plan from Petrosyan, Spassky's match. Knight e2. In one of the games, do you remember when Petrosyan sacrificed the rook on c4?
Of course, I did all the rook sacrifices for Petrosyan.
It was exactly from this type of the game. And it was this opening from this, I mean, type of position. So knight e4, knight e5, knight f5, bishop to b2, f6. Okay, white looks like dominating. Okay, rook e1, yeah, rook e1. targeting the knight. Now white can play f3. White can bring the queen to f1, maybe g4, f5.
Well, this is the current position, yes?
This is the current position. I believe that white is much better. What do you
With
think,
this
Mari?
knight on c6, I won't even hesitate, yeah?
Yeah. And we have a result on board 12.
Okay,
This was exactly the game that...
yeah, but the game finished...
rook c1 and rook g6.
The game finished before, earlier than we thought it is going. Okay, at least rook e1 was interesting, yeah, with the idea of knight f5. But okay, king g8 was completely stopping all the threats.
Yeah, and after rook g6, rook g4 is coming and collecting everything.
White understood that it's hopeless, so...
Yeah.
He decided to rest, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so many results already on top boards, actually.
So let's go back to board number 1. So here exactly happened that I was predicting. So white didn't let the queen on e3 to and knight took, and b6. And b6. Can white sacrifice a piece?
Oh. Do we want to do it?
Yes. Not our pieces.
Not our pieces.
Taking on d5, taking and taking back with the pawn. What? No. With the, I wanted to play b5 and a6.
I know.
Okay, let's try.
Let's try, yeah. I mean, you still want to play b5, takes a6, but what about the timing? Like, can I start with... If I start with knight d8, you have c6. I
have c6? Or...
With c6, king
do
e7?
I need to move c6, by the way?
Yes, I think, because I wanted to take.
Yes, bishop takes.
And... knight b7, you have bishop a6, maybe.
And also I had to move a6,
yeah, okay, true.
Let's try this.
And then bishop c6.
This, and bishop c6.
Oh, okay,
so,
not our pieces.
Not our pieces. We can sacrifice the piece even on the endgame. So takes and takes. And
doesn't look that it shall work, but until now it works, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, what to do now? Let's say...
No moves, Zuzwang.
King e7, b5, yeah?
King e7, b5. Catch me if you can.
And am I forced to take?
You are not, but...
c6 will come later. Okay, if I take...
Bishop takes.
Bishop takes, and... Let's see. Can I somehow give up this bishop back? Let's say knight d8. I still want the c6 and
no,
d6.
c6, then you have knight king d6 and then... No, c6 is wrong now because you have king d6 and then you sacrifice on a6. So if I start with a6...
Maybe c6 now and try to give the piece back? I don't
you mean
know.
black c6?
Yeah, I don't know. Because c6 was on the way.
And if I take?
Next move is c7.
Well,
wow, okay.
a7, c7,
okay, okay. Right. Okay, instead of c6.
Yes.
Any other move? Next move is c6 for white. But then I can take bishop a6.
Not necessarily. I can play with a7.
Bishop b7. Let's say any move. f5.
f5. Actually, this is strong because I wanted to play with e4. Okay. Bringing the king. They are saying that king is strong piece. King f6. Now I can push another pawn. No, I cannot. b7, bishop 7, bishop. Okay. And yeah, and white is winning here. I found the way.
Knight e6?
Not yet. And bishop a6, bishop c6, bishop c4.
Bishop c4.
No, you
okay,
just take
I
bishop
can
c6.
Yeah, bishop c6.
The king is close.
Sorry, I stopped your idea, but it looked very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so but I believe that white is thinking about this. So because if you play any other move, like if you retreat the knight,
just exchange and it's a draw.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't believe that. I mean, just bringing the knight to d6.
This is the only hope.
Everything is fine.
This is the only hope.
Okay, so there are, let's say, we can make conclusions after the hour, let's say, second hour of the game, actually the third hour.
Third hour, yes,
Yeah,
already.
of the game. So we have a fighting gun game on board one, and white can here try to sacrifice the piece and maybe get some interesting winning chances. Also, board number two.
Board number 2 is
He
interesting.
did play bishop h3. Your idea,
Bishop h1.
Marie, and bishop h1.
Well, black. I like black.
Yeah, yeah. Black is better. Black is more active and playing against the king. So here again we have an interesting game with good chances for Lazovic, and draws on board 3 and 4. And we have a fighting gun game in the game on board number 5. On board number 6, black is better in this endgame. Black is has a better pawn structure, better
not
bishop,
easy.
but not easy, of
Not
course.
easy, yeah.
For UAE players, Rod Al-Sarkar made a draw. Abdurrahman is fighting. The game is equal, and unfortunately, Amar Al-Sedrani is under heavy attack. I hope he will survive, but we will see. So we are going now for a short break, but don't go far. Stay with us. Soon we'll come back for our final part of the day of Masters Tournament Round 7.
Yes, don't go anywhere. See you soon.
Welcome back to round 7 of Masters Tournament of Abu Dhabi Festival. And we have an endgame on top board, and now White is thinking to sacrifice the piece or not. And he took the decision to
He
not.
took the decision not
to
to.
not
Not
to
worth the
sacrifice.
risk, yeah?
Well, pity. Okay, takes,
Would be fun.
takes. Yeah,
Would be fun, yeah.
knight a4. Actually, he found a different solution.
Mhm.
Apparently, White wins the pawn, but not. Look,
But-
knight takes b6, an intermediate move c3.
C3. C3, wow.
And
Wow.
White is not in time to capture the bishop, so White is...
C3 is the only move actually in the
Yeah,
position.
I mean, pawn hangs and
Otherwise
bishop
you-
hangs, yeah.
Wow. And if you take the bishop, then pawn is like, hurrah, let's go to a queen.
Exactly. So bishop d3, this is the only way to
Mhm.
stop the queen, the pawn. Knight
Knight
d6.
d6.
Wow. That's not an easy move.
That is not an easy move, yeah.
So so you give the knight, you give the bishop, knight c8, king f2, but probably black is in time to take the pawn on b4. Let's try. So knight c8, king f2, knight a7,
Okay.
king e2, knight c6, and black is
And
winning. No, I can take,
Yeah, you can take bishop a6, knight b4, and bishop goes back.
but black is better here.
Black
I mean,
is-
apparently you cannot...
you cannot bring your king close to the pawn.
yeah, exactly, and just black can improve
Wow.
the king forever.
You cannot remove the knight from b4 square. You cannot bring the king closer to the pawn. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the c3 was a beautiful move. Maybe he actually missed this move.
Yes, right. So after knight d6, white cannot take the bishop, of course. But can I take the pawn? Knight d5 or knight a4?
You can.
Any of
you
these
can,
two
yeah.
moves is... Well, is knight d5 winning a pawn?
Maybe bishop f5.
Bishop f5. So takes, and draw.
I saw the position in the playing hall, by the way, and I think they actually played this. I don't know. I'm
And
not
after
sure.
b5, okay, this is probably the game where...
Yes. Let me
Yeah, take.
quickly see.
Yes, so
This happened, yes.
all
yes,
the
this
variation that
happened.
we discussed, it happened, yeah?
Mhm.
Takes, bishop e3 and b5, and draw is probably happening soon. So we have draw on board 3, on board 4, on board 1, but a fighting draw. It was an
Fighting
interesting
draw.
game.
Still playing, by the way. They're
Still playing,
and
yeah, I think all our attention is going to board number 2.
all our attention on board number 2, where Subramyan is playing against Denis Lazovic, and Denis Lazovic is
Yes, after
pushing.
94 queen c1. Yeah, he is pushing. He is attacking with all his pieces. Well, attacking, checkmate in 1, queen f5.
You offered h5, yes, instead of knight
Yeah,
e4.
okay,
yeah.
h5 I think is like, even
Mhm.
now I think it's just a reasonable move.
Mhm.
h5, h4. Maybe bringing the queen, but where exactly? To f5. I was thinking about queen f5, but I couldn't find anything after.
Queen f4, yes.
Queen f4, and how to give the check. I mean, rook g6, threatening checkmate, but...
Okay, but what? Bishop e4?
Bishop e4 looks like only move.
Yes,
Rook,
but
bishop
then I'll
f3,
take
rook
rook
g6.
e4
And pawn hangs,
and two
double
pawns are
attack.
hanging, yeah.
I know this one, but you can note. I have time for
e3.
f3. I have time for
There
f3.
was maybe e3. I think there was e3 after rook e4, bishop
Yeah.
e4, rook e4, e3.
yeah, that's
And if
possible.
rook e6, rook d6, I'm trying to.
Yeah, rook e6, rook d6. Yeah,
But okay, now takes, and rook e6.
takes, and rook e6, lifting another rook. And bishop, rook g6 check. Yeah, this might
But
be...
okay, even if you give this check, there is nothing hanging in white's position.
Yeah, but you play basically without the king in the endgame. Now, you know, I was thinking that f3 here is a possible move, because if you move the rook away, I'll play e4.
And if rook f4?
And if rook f4, I didn't think that far. Okay,
Pawn
rook
is a
d2,
pawn, yeah?
but your rook is a little bit...
f5. Okay, I don't have to play rook f5. I can start by maybe h6, just opening a window for my king.
Yes, rook e8, takes, and king h7, yeah?
And king h7.
Still a pawn up. Still a
Pawn is
pawn
a
up.
pawn, yeah?
Yeah.
But okay, maybe rook b8 is possible here. And
yeah, white is too active, and it's opposite color bishops. So queen c1 and h5 was played, by the way.
h5 was played. Nice. Your idea.
Well, it's
Your
just
idea.
open a
Yes.
window plus attack, plus h4 playing against the hook.
Exactly.
So it's a useful move. It's a multitasking, let's say, move. Just open the window, creating some attacking ideas. So Lazovic is trying to put some problems.
He is.
Yeah, and look at the time difference. White is only 8 minutes against 14, so it's
well,
also
not
white is not
too
enough.
much, but maybe it will go even less. Yeah.
So other games on board 5. Wow. So here was a bishop b6 idea, and white wants to play rook b6, but not they did repeat once. But rook e1, knight e4, knight sacrificing a pawn, and now sacrificing the bishop. Bishop c5. Okay, it's not really a sacrifice, so
because if takes, then rook b7, knight starts hanging, and where are you moving the knight?
Well, let's say I'm moving the knight to b4.
Okay, what kind of tactics do I have here? Is there something that...
Knight d6, bishop f7,
king f8.
But nothing works. Wait, there should be something.
Looks like.
Rook e7, knight h6, king f8, knight h7, king e8. Rook e7 not, knight g5 not, knight d6 not, knight f6 not.
And then what? Then what?
Maybe just a simple move like knight g3, by the way.
Yeah, threatening knight f5.
Yeah, and if move the bishop, and knight f5, 1-0. I know, knight c6, but I don't believe that black can hold all his pieces.
Bishop d5?
Bishop d5, yeah. Yeah, and white wins a piece.
Yeah.
White wins a piece. So this beautiful, this idea of bishop c5 move, bishop c5, and black. Okay, black can play bishop c6. Black can try the move bishop c6 here, and probably white just takes the pawn. Bishop d6, no, knight d6. Yeah, just simply knight takes d6, bishop d6, rook e8 check, rook e8, bishop takes d6. Material is equal, but white is bishop's pair. Now, also a6 pawn hangs. I believe that white is better here. Okay, bishop c5, a beautiful idea.
Bishop c5 was really interesting, yes. I mean, the bishop is hanging. It's not hanging, but then suddenly you move and put it under attack of the pawn.
Yeah, you can't defend by rook b8 because rook takes b7.
Yeah. And knight
rook b7,
yes.
and or bishop d5.
Or bishop d5, yeah.
I mean one of...
both are possible.
Exactly.
Oof.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well played.
So board 6, we have this slightly better on game for black, but I believe that white is holding. White is holding. I mean, black can...
Everything can happen in time and trouble.
Yeah, black can play b5, black can play with bishop b4, but it looks like white is holding. We have a draw on board 7.
We do? Another draw?
On board 7. On board 9. Well, after knight b5, they just played just few moves after. Knight b5, queen d7, knight f to d4, yeah? I thought
not much changed, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
In most of the games, they're already going to time trouble, and on board 9, we don't have many chances.
Yeah, it's just move 20.
Yeah.
Rook e8, b4, and g5. Look at this, Maria. So nobody
G5,
wants to
your
move his pieces back. Well, not really in this position, but why did black need so to play this desperate move?
I think, again, they hear us.
Okay, good.
They get motivated from our ideas, the way we are doing it, and they try to
Okay.
do it on the chessboard.
Okay, good. Good that we are motivating players to play in aggressive way, in a tactical way. So d4, g5, yeah. Black is counter-attacking.
For G5.
So if you take on c5,
Okay, but the time they are also going to time trouble very soon.
yeah. So if you take, you can take the bishop on c5, but also you can take, by the way, I know. Yeah, probably black should take the bishop. I thought that black can try to take the pawn back. Yeah, take the bishop. Now pawn e5 is lost. White can try with c6, but I don't believe it gives something. Yeah, it's crazy, complicated. Yeah, it's not even easy to. By the way, I think that Ammar Sedrania played a couple of brilliant defensive games, and he's still a piece up with good chances to.
He played king e7, yes.
He did play king e7, and look at his king. Queen g6. Actually, this all happened.
Yes.
Let's move back. Let's move back to. Yeah, let's move back to board number 72 or 70.
72. I trust your memory. Yes.
Yes. So look at knight d4.
King.
He found all the moves. And knight a6. Okay, it's probably a weak move. Queen b6, check. King is on d6.
And the king is hiding on d6 square.
It's.
And black is like, yes, I'm an exchange up.
Yeah.
Now I'm piece up.
Yeah. Rook to d1. Okay, the threat is f4, not
or c3.
Or c3, yeah.
Okay, maybe not c3. You can simply take and queen a3, but.
The threat is actually rook takes d4 and rook hangs on h8. So just I was thinking why I can't just take the pawn on a2.
Rook d4.
But rook d4 I missed this tactic. And white is pawn up in the endgame. 2 pawns up. Sorry.
Nice. Nice.
But
well played by Ammar, yeah?
Yeah. He found all the defensive moves like king e6, then king e7, then king d6, and
very well played. Very well played.
Yeah, but the game is not over. The game is not over.
It's still going on.
By the way, how do you defend against both threats, f4 and
queen c4, or just move the rook?
And if queen c4, f4?
Move the king.
Where do you move the king? Not so many squares.
c7. No,
queen
king.
e5.
If king e7, queen b7, you are going to play?
Or maybe you can take the pawn simply.
You cannot. Queen c2 checkmate. And you cannot take it by pawn either, because knight b3 check. But
Yes.
But I was scared of queen b7 move here. I'm not sure, but king f8, still threatening checkmate.
And check.
King g7.
And check.
So king f7.
Do you know how to say draw in French?
King g6.
And queen e4.
Okay. Draw?
No, correct to say draw.
Draw.
All my students, they know how to offer a draw in French. Okay, so so queen c4, f4, yeah? Queen c4, f4, and...
Okay, what if... Where else can I move the king?
Not so many squares. I think e7 is the only square. You can try to...
maybe too ambitious. King e7.
Yes, check.
Queen b7, king f6.
Wow.
You take on e5.
Yes.
Okay, still the same.
King
g6. Or king... Can I go king...
King e5? No.
Yeah, no, I wanted king
g6. e4?
Well...
Chess is for brave people. You cannot take on d4 because queen d4 protecting the rook. If you take the rook, immediately queen c2. No, but of course, so many checks here. I mean, queen g6, rook e1. Now, this is a little bit too much.
Yeah, it looks like a bit too much, but
yes.
everything is
so
possible.
rook d1, queen c4, Queen c4, f4.
What if just rook d8?
f4?
f4 and, well, king e7, queen h7.
From h7, correct.
The king is too exposed. That is the problem.
Well, the king was exposed 10 moves ago, or 15 now. Well, maybe king to c5. Queen e5 and rook d5. Trying to build up like...
c6,
and
yeah?
queen c6, knight c6, I don't know, maybe knight c6, yeah. And the king is safe here.
The king, no more checks.
No more checks.
No more
I
checks.
mean, black is active, pawn a2 hangs.
We found a way to not let you give more checks.
Well, I did play rook f8, by the way, very practical. Anna, but it's not practical, come on.
No, rook f4, rook d4.
Rook d4, we have seen this tactic. And no way to move the king.
King e7?
No, then queen h7 and rook d7.
Yeah,
Again, the same.
Yeah.
The same story.
Yeah.
So rook f8 and white anyway can play e4, f4.
Maybe rook f8 wasn't the best move, yeah?
Well, if it doesn't stop the move f4, so why do you play there?
Maybe actually the move was rook d8, queen
f4, king c5,
queen e5, and rook d5. Bravo! I think you shall play tomorrow. I think you shall play tomorrow.
I should start from today playing table tennis. Maybe we can play together. But chess, no, it's much easier when you are sitting here drinking chai, coffee, and advise players. And it's completely different story if you're facing your opponent when you're in time trouble, when everything hangs, and when your arms are shaking. And
yeah, you have to make practical decisions.
No. So it's yeah. f4 happened. F4 happened. He found this resource. Okay, it's only way for white. And now once again, the game start to be unclear. Okay, I think that black can just play king e7. Look here, there is no. I mean, there is no queen h7 because rook f7. If you take by pawn on e5, or you take with the queen, how do you take on e5 after king e7?
Well, if I take by pawn.
By pawn, then I thought to...
rook f4, maybe?
Wow. Brilliant. I did.
Queen h7 and king
draw.
f7. Rook f7.
And
queen
draw.
e4, no.
No draw today.
No draw.
Okay.
I'll move the knight.
Yeah, then I'll take the pawn on b4. Okay, you can move it to c6.
I can give it with a check also, or I can play it to c6.
But don't forget, I'm 3 pawns for the piece already. I'm doing fine. Okay, not bad. And black's king is still exposed to...
I agree.
So yeah, so the game is already unclear after f4. After f4, I mean after f4 is... black is not longer better, I would say. Maybe white is practically better, I don't know.
How fast the tables turned, yeah? He found all these brilliant moves.
Yes.
And then he had to find the way how to stop the checks for the white. But it's not that easy in the end.
Yeah, the game on board 1 is still in progress.
Yes.
But probably finishing soon in a draw. After g4, yeah. G4 just liquidating all.
Yeah, it looks like a draw on board 1.
But yeah, I was trying.
Maybe we shall concentrate on board 2 because basically we have one player with 6 points now, and only this game will decide if we will have someone else rather than the sole leader of the tournament to catch up.
Correct. And rook to d4, h5 was played, a5, first fixing the pawn, queen f5, threatening checkmate in 1. White is forced to give the bishop, checkmate in 1 again, and queen to c6, yeah? Rook b2. This is the current position after rook b2, and black is thinking. If black takes on a4, white obviously takes on b7.
Oh yeah, defends a3, bishop 2.
Rook takes e2. No, not in this movie. Maybe, what else?
By the way, let's mention that Subramaniam is very long time.
Bharat, Bharat
Yeah, it's a very
Subramanian.
long
He's
time.
1 minute and 30 seconds only against 13 minutes of Denis Lazovic. Yeah, and the position is not easy to play. I mean, king is under attack, pawn a4, if black just managed to win the pawn on b4. But by the way, why? I mean, I can take on b4 because rook
Yeah.
takes b7, rook takes e2,
Okay, yeah.
and the game is over. I don't know, you have a couple of checks.
We shall check this line. Rook b8, queen b1, and g6.
And g6. Or f5, but g6 is safer.
We find all the ways not to stop the checks, yeah?
Yeah, okay, you can
try to bring the bishop to d4.
but
Okay,
I think
bishop
it's
c5.
I think this is too long.
Rook g2, king h1, or rook d2 maybe.
Oh yeah, rook d2 with
Or rook g2, then then bishop g1. Okay, rook d2.
rook d2 and rook d1, yeah. And white is not in time for
anything.
Yeah. So queen takes pawn and taking on b7 and taking on e2. Okay, so the game is over. The game is over on this scenario. Black is pawn up, advantage on the king side, advantage on the queen side. I mean, advantage on the clock. All the advantages.
Queen a4, bishop c5.
Okay, but it's a pawn up.
It's a
I
pawn
know,
up.
queen c6 back, bishop d4
Simple,
and
yeah?
d5.
Simple as that.
Okay. Now finally white got counterplay with queen. Well, yeah.
As they say, in opposite colored bishops, the side that is attacking has an advantage. Yes.
Good. Yeah, good. Very good practical advice. So, queen to c6. Yeah, maybe queen c6 is too slow. I'm actually helping white. So bishop comes to d4, yeah? Bishop comes to d4, and then it's not that simple. Bishop to d4, actually this happened in the game. Queen a4 and bishop c5 all played.
Bishop c5, black is taking his time. So if queen c6, bishop d4.
If queen c6, bishop d4.
Yeah, I have to improve the position of the bishop from a3 square. Yeah, bishop c5 is a good move.
Can I try,
maybe the only move.
Practical decision? Bishop d4 and f3.
f6, yeah?
f6, sorry, yeah.
Rook b6.
And okay, queen d5.
Queen d5. Later you are threatening to play rook e2.
Yes, queen b2.
Okay, I don't have to play rook b6.
Yeah, maybe queen b2, double attack. I mean, attacking b7. No beauties, no queen takes f3. Okay. Just checking. Just checking. And it's still not easy.
After bishop c5, it is not easy. Okay,
he did play b5 directly. And if bishop to d4, now queen g5 is still a threat. Queen f5 is not a threat because queen. So black can play any move.
Checkmate, yeah.
Black can play any move, including the move b4. And after queen g5, there is this checkmate.
Okay, so as long as you cannot bring this queen closer to my king, then
but maybe my threat is bishop takes g7 and queen g5, pretending that maybe I have perpetual. I don't know.
Maybe you do.
Or maybe not.
And then rook e7, yeah, king f8, okay, but you can go with, if queen c5, rook e7,
yes,
no more checks.
Queen h6.
Queen h6, king e7.
Well, keep checking.
Trying to run away. And then the rook might join if I go to the d file, yeah?
Exactly.
But we have a move, we have king f2.
So, not
simply running away from queen d1.
Yeah.
Wants to play bishop d4, queen g5.
Okay.
Without being under this forced checkmate.
Yeah, quite logical.
Good move. Very good move.
And stopping b4 move. And there is no b4 move.
Time trouble. Time trouble for both players.
Actually, the queen now on a5, as I see, is
It's
out
stuck,
of
but
yeah,
you
it's
cannot attack it.
out of the game. No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to play bishop d4, queen g5, as you said, and why can black cannot bring the queen into the game?
Everything is possible when the time is low.
Yeah. Well, I was even thinking to sacrifice the exchange, but it's white is not even forced to go for. Let's say rook to d8, bishop d4, and well, okay, let's start. I can start with b4.
If queen g5,
If
then
queen
you take on
g5, rook
d4.
d4, pawn d4, and queen to d1. Threatening the pawn, threatening
Queen
to
f1,
check,
queen c1,
and
yeah.
c5 pawn is c4, c3 pawn is very close to promotion. I don't know. Okay, so king f2, and black is thinking. Yeah, rook d8, but rook d8, queen g5 actually, or rook d2. No, I believe that white got decent contra chances here. So if rook d8, even white can play such a move as rook d2.
True.
So in this scenario,
a lot of perpetual
yeah, and the queen is out of play.
Ideas, yeah.
Yeah, now white can, yeah, I mean, bishop might hang in, pawn on h5, pawn on g7. Yeah, I think black missed somewhere his chances. So we have a draw on board 7.
We do have a draw,
we
yeah.
have a board on board 7. And
we are going to have a draw on the first board.
Yes, they are still playing, but it is clear that...
The leader of the tournament, Zhang Zhongsheng, against Arkady Naidich.
And what happened after the move bishop c5 in the game of Hubukshanov against Grebnev? Bishop c6, knight takes d6, exactly our end game. And black didn't take on d6, black played the move rook to d8, knight e4 back, rook e8 back, and white is continuing to play for advantage, and white is actually much better, rook b6. If white manages to win the pawn on a6, then it's just game over.
Yeah.
2 passed pawns and active pieces. Yeah, good game for international master.
Yeah. Hubukshanov.
Yeah. Yeah, and the game of Stremyavichus against Saruk, black is still slightly better, and but most probably here the end game will end in a draw.
We have 2 draws, by the way, already on the first and the second boards.
And on board number 2, really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, let's stay on this game. So king f2, the game, I mean, is still in progress. I don't believe it's so simple. The game is full of possibilities here. And after king f2, okay, it looks like white's compensation is enough. I mean, counterplay with bishop d4, but I believe it's far from a draw. While black is thinking, let's check Abdurrahman's game. We didn't check for a while. He plays with white pieces, and here, okay, around this position, I was checking. Okay, rook d4. I don't know. This is not really necessary move, but okay. I mean, instead of rook to d3 and rook d1.
Well, he wanted to.
Yeah, but this is wrong idea. Wrong idea. You should play against the pawn on d5, not to cover the pawn. Yeah. Okay. Now black is slightly better because black controls the file. But okay, white is active. I mean, especially the queen is so active, but black is pushing the pawn.
The pawn is going.
Yeah, the pawn is just going. And once again, Abdurrahman is low on time with 5 minutes against 20. And Ammar Sedrani.
Yeah, Ammar Sedrani is game 72, yeah?
Yes, and it was, what was the... Oh, he just blundered. He blundered this idea. Or maybe it was no better way. No, actually, we saw it was the move king e7 with okay, equal chances, but he played rook f4, rook d4. Maybe we are missing something, Maria, here. Look at the position. Maybe we are missing something here.
No, he has to take on d4.
He has to
What are
take
we
on
missing?
d4, yeah.
And he had no other choice.
Okay, takes.
He didn't have other choice after
And
d4,
there
yeah?
is no e5 because queen f6. So king d5. And now white is a pawn up. White is a pawn up,
yeah.
Okay, it's maybe still not simple. Still white needs to convert this pawn up. Yeah, but yeah, he missed this. He clearly missed the continuation. The white's idea of f4 and okay. So finally drawn board 1.
Yeah.
Finally born
we are
draw
going to have 4 draws on first 4 boards.
Okay, the board number 2 is still in progress.
It's
the game
still in
number
progress.
2. So king f2, b4. So black decided to sacrifice.
I can see from the video that they finished the game.
Yeah, you can see on your screen the playing hall, the beautiful venue here in St. Regis Hotel, and the games are.
We can go through the line.
We can go through the line after b4.
Yeah, after b4, white takes.
Yes.
c3.
Sacrificing another pawn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what if white takes?
Queen c3, queen a1.
Queen a1.
a1. Queen.
From a1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Queen a1, e4. Apparently there is no checkmate.
Okay, so no checkmate.
Black captured on b4. Bishop took. Rook c8. Queen d2. And here we got a repetition. Queen a7, queen e3, and queen a1, and queen d2.
Wow. Wow,
Unexpected. I was expecting to have a result on this board, to be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, it's clear that black missed his chance. Black missed his chance. Okay, Maria. So I think we can make some conclusions of the day.
We can make some conclusions.
Yeah. So draws on all 4 boards.
We had very fighting draws, by the way, on board number 1 and board number 2.
Exactly. And Zheng kept the leading
He's still
place.
The sole leader of the tournament.
Yeah.
Still 2 rounds to go.
Before the free day. So tomorrow we have a free day. So if you're in Abu Dhabi, join our tournaments. So the next round will be round 8 on Saturday. Yes. Same time, 5 o'clock here in Abu Dhabi St. Regis Hotel.
And tomorrow, if you are in Abu Dhabi, you can join our Blitz tournaments. You can play open, ladies or juniors under 16 tournament. Hope to see everyone online, and we'll meet you on Saturday.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. You are following the round 7 of the 31st Abu Dhabi Chess Festival. Here with you were Grandmaster Viorel
and Grandmaster Maria. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me.
Of course, Viorel, and see you on Saturday.
See you on Saturday. Have a good evening.